Hi everybody, I'm Gigi. Welcome to my channel. The channel is going to be about just what the title says, about child molestation, rape, domestic violence, and sexual assault in the workplace. So I've been wanting to write a book for a long time about my experiences in life and what all these have done and how they've shaped my life. And I wrote quite a few books, or starting of books. No, I shouldn't say the whole thing. But anyway, and I just didn't like any of it. I'm not a writer. So I thought I would come on YouTube and share my story with whoever's interested. And it's a very controversial topic. It's a sensitive topic. It's a vulnerable topic. And I think there's going to be a lot of people out there, mostly women. There might be some men interested in my story or anybody else's story who cares to share here. But I'm doing this now because I'm not getting any younger, and hopefully, if I can help even, one person from making the same mistakes that I did, it would be worth it. So I've actually been thinking about making, I've actually made quite a few videos, but none that I liked. I've never done this before, and it's really hard to talk about, and it's been challenging for me to try to figure out how I want to go about presenting it to the world without it being boring or maybe I'm not going to get into explicit details, but I am going to talk about what it's done to my life and the decisions that I've made and how they've shaped the path that I've taken in life, and how one of the paths that I chose got me in trouble with the law. And I ended up on the run for 14 years. So I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to talk about what it was like for the last 13 and a half years after I came back and turned myself in, and what all of this has done to, myself and my children. I'm going to talk about how it affects every decision I've ever made in my life, from the men that I've chosen, and just everything. Because believe it or not, I'm sure those of you who have been through this know what it's like to experience it, and all of the ways that it's a very negative impact on your life, and it's hard to get out of, and it's hard to move forward. It's really hard to do the fear and the shame, and it can be paralyzing, and it literally dictates everything that you do in your life. And so at least until you've finally gotten a hold of it and are able to change how you live your life. I became very codependent, and I don't know why, because the men in my life were all shit. They were abusive in one way or another, whether it was verbal abuse, emotional, physical, sexual. They were all abusive, and so it really does affect your, I've been going through this for 55 years now, and so I've got a long history of abuse to talk about. I actually got married 4 times, and every one of them was awful. Don't think I was ever really in love with anybody. I thought I just needed a man in my life. I don't know why. And it took me a long time. It's been about 20 years now since I'll say 10 years for sure, where I have not had anybody in my life. And I don't need anybody in my life anymore. Before, I would just jump from one to the next, and not even thinking about who I'm choosing, why. I had no idea. But anyway, this is, I don't know if there's going to be a lot of interest in this, but I thought I would give it a shot and see if anybody wants to hear any more about my story. I'm gonna lay it all out there, and I encourage, if anybody wants to comment or ask questions, to please do so. I'm not sure that I'll be able to answer every question. And in this first video, I'm not going to get into any real specific details, other than my abuse started when I was 9 years old, and it went on until I was 12. And I was raped twice as a teenager, and then I experienced domestic violence as an adult. And I had some pretty bad bosses. It wasn't just sexual harassment. It was borderline rape in the workplace. So, yeah, I don't know why there's so many shitty men in the world. And men, they sit there and they don't understand why women are maybe put off by men, or they wonder why we have such bad attitudes. Well, sorry, but there just aren't a lot of nice guys in the world anymore. I don't know if there ever was. And the ones that are nice, well, they're taken. And so that's my take on men. And I finally just decided that, why should I take care of a man? I was the only one working. I was the only one cleaning the house. I was the only one doing the yard work. I was the only one repairing the cars. I was the only one taking care of the children. And he wasn't working, and he didn't do anything to help, not one of them. Well, there was one who did work, but he was a child molester. So anyway, I'll be getting into that and what it was like to live with one of those, and find out that, because you don't know that when you first meet him. Nobody ever shows you their cards until they think they've got you wrapped around their finger and they've got you signed on the dotted line, and then they show you, their true colors. And so, and I know that's not just my experience. That is the way it is with all abusive men. And so, yeah, I just got tired of it. It's like, why should I do the man's job and the woman's job? And for what? I mean, my first husband made me turn over my paychecks to him, and then just so he could turn around and dole money back out to me so I could go grocery shopping, and if the cashier had shorted me even a quarter, a nickel, a dime, didn't matter. I was accused of, saving money in a Swiss bank account. It was ridiculous. And so I just got sick of it and got to the point where, what? Men aren't good for anything, I mean, honestly, even sexually, as far as I'm concerned, I don't need a man for that either. I mean, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So I am the type of person who, I grew up in the 60s and 70s with two older brothers, and I've had a sailor's mouth on me since I was a teenager, and that's not going to change. It hasn't changed. And I've put on a face my entire life to please everybody around me, and I don't do that anymore. I am who I am, and you can listen to me or you don't have to listen to me. And if you don't like that I swear, well, go somewhere else, because I'm not going to apologize for, my language at this age. I live my life the way I want to, and nobody tells me what to do but me. So it's taken me a long time to get to where I'm at emotionally, that I can stand up for myself, and I'm not a doormat anymore. And that I don't need anybody. And there is one downside to that. And even though I don't need anybody for the things that I mentioned, it's a little lonely. I'm going to admit that. It's a little lonely, but and if it's not like I have closed my doors completely to men, but I just don't. I haven't looked in a really long time, and I don't think I will. If something happens to come across my, my purview, and if something happens, well, that's fine. But anyway, I have put off posting any videos because I haven't liked any of them, and I went through some health problems in 2019. I broke my femur in 3 places, and I've been immobile for, well, it was 4 years, and it's not gotten a whole lot better in the last 2. But my self-esteem is not where it used to be, because being immobile, I put on a whole bunch of weight, and I thought, I don't want to put myself out there because I don't feel good about myself. And I just thought, if I don't do it now, it's never going to happen. So I don't know. I've done so many videos, and hopefully this one makes it to YouTube. So I'm going to stop with that. And if you guys are interested in hearing my story, I have a lot of I think it's a lot of juicy stuff, okay? Especially when I was on the run. And so anyway, if you're interested, be sure and subscribe, and like the video, and set the bell notifications so that when the next video comes out, you get notified. And I thank everybody for being here, and I will talk at you next time. Peace.